In this lesson, we're going to talk about the difference between margin of error and standard error. Now, standard error you've seen many times before, last few chapters, where you have sigma over the square root of n, or if we don't have that, it's s over the square root of n. Now, our standard error that we use for confidence intervals for proportions, we're actually just going to use the p hat. So we're not using the null p, we're using the p hat now, just because that's all we have is our sample proportion. And same thing down for two sample, but for two sample we now use a different formula because we can't use a pooled p hat because there are two different p hats. So, or we assume that it'll be two different p hats. So we can't combine them all together. Now, the margin of error is just our standard error multiplied by some critical value. And our critical value we either call z star or t star. And the next two videos after this, we talk about what that critical value is. Now, that critical value is determined by your confidence level. So the larger the critical value, the wider the confidence interval, and the larger the confidence level. So if I have a 95% confidence interval, I could draw it like this, where I'd have a point in the middle, which is my x bar, and these two sides represent margin of error. So your margin of error is the distance from the center to the outside of your confidence interval. Now, if I decided to increase this to a 99% confidence interval, my x bar would still stay the same, but my confidence interval would get bigger. Because if we're 99% confident that the true mean is in here, we're really confident of that. And now our margin of error is right here. So the confidence interval gets wider, and the confidence level goes from 95 to 99. That gets higher as well. If I wanted to do an 80% confidence interval, then we'd take our x bar, and it would be much smaller than the previous ones. All right, hopefully you're getting the point, and we're done with video 2.